Hi guys, in this video I'm going to talk about the top 5 busiest cities for courier work. In number 5 we have Bristol. Bristol is a good area for me. Every time I go there I seem to get a job. I see jobs going everywhere from Bristol. Some to up north, some back into London, some into Wales, and even some down into Plymouth. The good thing that's good about Bristol is that it's connected by major motorways such as the M4 and the M5, meaning it's easily accessible. When I go from London to Bristol, it's literally just one road. This means that you can generally get in and out of Bristol quite fast, as it's motorways and not really A roads, unless you're going down into Bath or Somerset. Then it might get a little bit long. But yeah, Bristol is not a bad area and you should be alright looking for jobs out of there. You also have Bristol Airport. Any city with an airport tends to have a lot of courier work, as a lot of air freight needs to be moved. So yeah, Bristol is not a bad area to look for work. In number 4, we have Birmingham. Birmingham is the second largest city in the UK. This means that there's obviously going to be some demand for courier work. You're also quite close to everything. You have Coventry, Leicester, Wolverhampton, all these surrounding areas that also tend to have a lot of work. It's also a place that's well connected with the motorways. You have many motorways coming in and out of Birmingham. Just remember that M6 toll is a killer, so try to avoid it whenever you can. In number 3, we have Manchester. Manchester is also a great city for courier work. I think it's very beneficial opening a courier business in a big city such as Manchester. There is a lot of warehouses and a lot of people, meaning the demand for courier work is going to be naturally higher. The one negative thing I would say about Manchester is that there is a lot of drivers. However, there is also a lot of work. You need to make your courier business stand out in order to be successful. There's plenty of opportunity for work in these big cities. Manchester also has Manchester Airport, which is a major airport in the UK. A lot of work comes out of that airport. If you manage to get yourself a contract with an air freight company that operates out of Manchester Airport, you should be able to make some good money. It's also in a good location as it's connected by major motorways. You have Liverpool, 40 minutes to the west, Leeds to the east. You also have Bolton and Stockport, which is not too far from Greater Manchester. Traffic in Manchester can be very heavy, especially during rush hour, so keep this in mind when doing jobs in Manchester. Number 2, we have Nottingham. Nottingham is one of my favourite places to deliver in. I always find work coming out of Nottingham, especially back into London. Nottingham is also geographically well placed, as it's just off the M1. That M1 corridor leads you from south to north of the country, meaning you can get anywhere quite fast. The only thing I hate about that M1 is the roadworks, but that's something we can't change. I go to Nottingham quite often, and every time I'm there, I seem to see quite a lot of options coming out of it. So yeah, as Nottingham is one of my personal favourites, I'll put that as number 2. Last but not least, in number 1, we have London. Okay, I know this is a controversial one, but hear me out. The reason I say London is because the opportunity is endless. Yes, it comes with a downfall of having many drivers. However, if you have your own customers, you'll be just fine. I know many people hate coming into London, especially when you don't live here. I hear it all the time. I can never get a job out of London. London jobs go for so cheap. How do people make money in London? In London, we don't charge per mile. We charge roughly on how long it's going to take us to do the job. So for example, if I'm going from northwest London into central London and it's a 5-mile job, I'm not going to charge £1.50 a mile and make £7.50. I'll be charging for the time it takes me. If it's going to take me an hour and a half, then I'll charge accordingly. It has nothing to do with the miles. I'm from northwest London, so if we're going to southeast, we have to charge a lot more, as there's no bridges in East London. So going through the Blackwall Tunnel or Dartford Tunnel is a massive headache. However, when you live in London, you'll know all these things, so you can charge accordingly. I do understand why people who are not from here would hate coming into London. Because London's the capital city, there is loads of jobs coming in the morning. And what this leads to is loads of courier drivers coming in the morning and all wanting to go home at the same time. So of course, it's a race to the bottom when bidding for jobs out of London in the afternoon. This is why it's crucially important that you charge your customers a journey back, or at least charge them enough for you to get yourself out of London. I've literally posted jobs in the afternoon from London to Bristol or London to York and got quotes for as cheap as £80, which is just insane. That barely covers the petrol. But people are so desperate to go home that they end up quoting super low just to get some petrol money back. However, if you build your clientele within the city, you can do a few small van jobs a day and make more than going up and down the country. You just need your own private customers that are willing to pay for your good service. Of course, this is all my opinion and other people have different opinions to me, but being born and raised in London, I just think it's the best city to work in. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you're liking this content, then click the like and subscribe button so you can stay updated for when we next post.